frozen overworld dragons, duping dragons onto the obsidian platform, infinite looping dragons, never-ending dragon's breath, easier dragon quarries, and infinitely automatic dragon XP farm. Hello there, Ray here. We found new ways to use a dragon in survival. If you haven't already seen my first video, go ahead and pause this one and watch that one first, otherwise you'll be completely clueless on how we did all this crazy stuff. And subscribe for more Minecraft glitches. First up, my automatic dragon XP farm. It works by using some cool tricks. So soon as we dupe it over an end dimension, it will appear here at the highest point at world spawn point. This is where I have an iron bar. The dragon is placed directly above it, and it will try to circle around that iron bar. To make it easier to kill the dragon, I designed this dragon cage which holds the dragon, very similar to my machine I used in my automatic dragon farm, which is the fastest XP farm in the game. This cage consists of mostly just pistons in the corner, which pushes on the big hitbox of the dragon, so it can never move too close to them. And since only the very inner boxes of the dragon can actually destroy blocks, those boxes never get close to your pistons, so they can't destroy them. Then I have a TNT duper up in the sky, and this is automatically duplicating TNT, which is possible in the Java edition. It's then falling down through the sky and perfectly aimed. It will land just above the dragon, so it will damage it, but not so close to the dragon that the explosions will push the dragon too far out of our cage. The speed of the TNT duper doesn't have to be very fast. This is because, as I illustrated in my fastest dragon kill, the dragon has immunity from damage. After the dragon takes damage, there's a period of time where it can't take damage, unless the damage is greater than the previous. This will slowly lower the dragon's health, and once it's lower than halfway, it will then try to dart its way to 0-0 in the overworld. This is where the slime blocks come in. They're specifically set up in the corner that is in the way to 0-0, so when the dragon tries to go that way, it instead gets launched backwards. We need this extra row of slime blocks because the dragon is really pushing in this direction, where before it was just going in circles. This also prevents the dragon from getting too close to the normal pistons, which can actually warp the dragon when they retract, which is not something we want, because this could actually pull the dragon on the opposite side of the pistons. With this extra row of security, we're able to hold the dragon and continue bombarding it with TNT. This will eventually kill it, and in which case it will start to die and do its death phase. At this point, it naturally will rise up, but I have a piston above which is keeping the dragon downward. And this is important because the next phase is when the dragon drops its XP. We don't want those XPs to get destroyed by the TNT that we just have above it. So by keeping the dragon low, we can have all the XPs fall downwards into this water stream, and then we can pipe that to the player's location. Or we can store them in unloaded chunks. With all of this combined, it makes the infinitely automatic dragon XP farm. While messing about with different setups for the dragon dupe, we actually got the dragon to duplicate without having to unload it. This would make it easier to run such a farm in single player. Igna looked into why this was occurring and said it had to do something with the dragon's head. But what if you don't want to kill the dragon, but instead use the dragon to quarry out all the blocks in your world? We found some new ways to control the dragon to make this easier in survival. So instead of having the dragon up in the air, when it duplicates over into the overworld, we instead dig a little hole down into the ground. That way when it comes in, it'll be placed inside of the ground. And that's a Y level which I'll try to keep. As explained in the prior video, the dragon will circle the location where it's loaded in. We could take advantage of this and actually move the dragon. So if I just let the dragon do a bit of circling, and then once it gets a little ways from the center spot which it's circling, we go ahead and unload it, either by logging off or leaving the chunks. Then when we log back in, the dragon will circle the new location it's loaded in, which is a little ways away. If we continue this up, we can actually move the dragon to any location we want in the world, allowing us to continue to quarry out new areas. And just like that, we made a dragon quarry. But what if you just want to put the dragon on display, but don't want all those fancy pistons holding it in? Then this next discovery is for you. So after the dragon gets a low health, it will fly all the way to 0-0, which we have over here. And we built this little end platform. So once we get it here, we could do something special. And here at spawn, we have all the nodes blocked up in the air. But Igna found out if we leave one of the nodes opened up, we can get the dragon to just go between 0-0, its perching point, and this one node. We can get the dragon to be stuck in this permanent cycle between these two locations. And we dub this the dragon perch loop, which can be used as a type of quarry or as a way to just hold the dragon without physically having to hold it. So since the dragon is constantly perching, that means it's constantly doing its attempt of placing fire breath where the player is. You can see we just placed in one right there. Now it's going to rotate that way and place one. So this would be a great way to make a dragon's breath farm. But keeping the dragon in this perch loop is a bit risky because if a player gets too close, the dragon will then change up its phase to try to attack the player. Igna looked into the code and explained the dragon only goes between these two locations because the other nodes are so high up they wouldn't get chosen, but interrupting the dragon's phase could cause the dragon to start moving upwards, in which case it can see those nodes within range and actually go to higher up ones, which will result the dragon in doing the opposite, getting the dragon to be stuck at the very top where it would never actually come back down to the bottom. This also could have its benefits of just having a dragon circling up in your air and never having to worry about it coming down and hurting you. We refer to this type of freeze as a partial freeze. While designing my dragon farm, once in a while some of the dragons would escape and head to 0-0. But when I went over there to check up on them, I made the biggest discovery yet. So we got a bunch of dragons that ended up at 0-0, but a couple of them actually froze. We actually had 3 of them froze. Here's one. Another one over here, he got low health. And look how fast the waves are going. Oh my goodness, it's like all glitched out. That looks insane. Super flappy dragon. I swear every time he hits it, it goes a little bit faster. It's not fast, it's just a blur. You can't even see the wings. Well, these dragons that did freeze, it looks like you can move on with pistons, which is really great. So you can actually have a frozen dragon in the overworld too. So after I accidentally made some frozen dragons in the overworld, Igna looked up into the code to try to figure out why this happened and how we could replicate it. So this is what we found out. So over here in the overworld, we went ahead and removed the 0-0 blocks. Then we filled in all the other nodes, and then we also left this one node, which is node number 12. We removed that one as well. Everything else is filled in over here at Y level 280. And after we did that, if we come up here and look at some of these dragons that got loose in the overworld, we can see we actually got a couple of frozen ones. So it actually worked. That is crazy. Let's go ahead and try playing around with these. So we're currently freezing dragons here at spawn as they're landing. Once they perch, we have been pushing them downwards. You can see we got one frozen dragon, another one. And we'll continue pushing these and see how many we can get stacked up. Oh my goodness, now we got 4 dragons. Okay, let's keep pushing them downwards. It seems like as we push them downwards, the other dragons that are coming down, they can't freeze because the hitbox from the ones below are stopping them from getting close to the perch point. And they have to get to the perch point before they can freeze. If you get the dragons too far away from 0-0, they will unfreeze. This dragon here is coming in and it's dying. Except to die is trying to get to the perch platform, which is down there, and it's already being occupied by other dragons. So it keeps getting pushed about. Oh, it looks like I got close enough. It's finally dying. So let's go ahead, and we have a frozen dragon here. Let's go ahead and kill it and see what happens. It definitely dies. It looks like it's going to drop its XPs as well. The green part's still down here. Oh, dropped XPs over here. Okay. So with these new overworld frozen dragons, I decided to do some further testing. And then all of a sudden this happened. Oh, it actually went through! Oh my goodness! What? Actually duplicated, went into the end dimension. That's right guys, we actually got the dragon to duplicate and appear in the end dimension. And just like the player, it actually appears on the obsidian platform and starts circling it because that's where it's loaded in. So now that we have a dragon over here in the end dimension, let's see what happens when it gets low health. First off, there isn't like a second health bar. Health bar that's currently showing is for the frozen one that we still got in the center. Let's see if this one leaves, because when it comes over here, what it does is it tries to stay where it originally spawned in, which is on the end platform. Okay, so now that we got it low health, it's definitely changed. It's no longer flapping. It looks like it froze. It's probably froze just because the other one also froze and its pathfinding is messed up. That's pretty cool. Now we got 2 frozen ender dragons in the end dimension. That is crazy. I suppose it was probably going to fly back to 0-0, but it just froze. So with this frozen dragon here, it looks like we can also move it. So with it being frozen, it's potential that you can move this one over with that one over there, and then you can have 2 dragons. And since they're frozen, they're not pushing each other. You can actually have both get duped at the same time. So you get multiple dragons duping all at once. You get tons and tons of dragons very fast. What questions do you have? Big thanks to Jelly and Igna for joining me in this testing, and to Igna for answering questions we had about the code. Check out both their channels linked below. Jelly's doing tutorial videos on this, and Igna's doing explanations on how the code works. More crazy dragon tricks in this playlist here, or my quest to design an automatic farm for every item in the game of Minecraft. I also have a TikTok as well as Instagram, so check me out. Thanks guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.